Hello and welcome, my Snapple Cap Facts. How you doing today? It's Super John Bombo here, and we've got another special video for you guys. Today we're talking all about the Engineer. This is the best Engineer guide of all time. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about every single upgrade of the Engineer, what it does almost exactly, with math, with examples, with science experiments, with everything you guys want to see that will help you understand the Engineer. We're going to show it to you guys today. And that means if you guys want to press the like button for me, I'd really appreciate that. This is going to be very in-depth, though, so it's going to be a long video. I understand not everybody's going to want to watch everything, but honestly, this will make you a much better Bloons player if you check this guide out. It took me a long time to even check out a lot of these numbers here, because they do get a little bit confusing later on what exactly the Engineer does, because it gets a little bit goofy, and actually testing it out can be difficult without the exact numbers from Ninja Kiwi. So, starting off here, what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys my top 6 Engineers really quick. Just talk about him. Faster Engineering, probably, he's okay, but he's an okay Engineer, alright? Then you've got this guy, which is actually pretty good, probably almost my favorite Engineer for popping power, 203. It's a double gun Engineer with faster Engineering as well, which is going to help you out in just popping balloons and slowing them down, which is kind of key here. Overclock and Ultra Boost, honestly, they've got a lot of nuances to them that you might not understand, but I want to explain them today. They're not just as simple as overclocking and boom, you get a better tower. You really have to understand the math of it to make sure that you're using these towers to the best of your ability, basically. And actually maxing out what you can do with your towers over here. Of course, I love the Overclock. I love the Ultra Boost. They're super duper interesting towers. I think the Overclock's more important for us. The Ultra Boost is more fun for us, if I had to say so myself. And then, of course, the balloon trap and the extra large trap over here. What these guys do is make you extra money while also popping balloons, which is just the coolest thing ever. I love money. I love popping balloons. Boom, boom. We got these two guys together. So, without further ado, let's just restart in here. I know that there's a delete monkey button, but it doesn't get rid of the traps, so that actually makes it worse for us. So, let's talk about these numbers, guys. To start off, a base Engineer. Believe it or not, it's actually not that great of a tower. I think whenever we're thinking about the Engineer, we want to compare him to something like a Dart Monkey. We want to start off with the starting popping power of this guy. What you're going to notice is that our Engineer Monkey is going to pop 3 balloons per shot. But what you're also going to notice is that our Dart Monkey is also going to pop 3 balloons per shot. You'll notice the speed is a little bit faster in the Engineer, but not 2 times as fast or 2.5 times as fast, which would make sense mathematically for us to buy a Dart Monkey compared to an Engineer to start off our game, alright? I think that's important here for us to understand. One thing you should note, though, is that, of course, I do have my Monkey Knowledge activated, and the Dart Monkeys normally pop 2 balloons per shot, not 3. So, that does give him a slight advantage as far as all this is concerned, but it's something we should definitely keep in mind, because Monkey Knowledge is something that most people are probably going to have at this point in the game. Alright, moving on. Engineer as a base tower, we probably have figured out that he's not that great. He's okay, but realistically, we need to talk about abilities. Like, what could he get later on? So there's the Sentry Gun. $500 more. So we're already spending almost $1,000 on this tower here. We're getting pricey. What do the Engineers do? Or what do the Sentry Guns do? Well, they pop 1 balloon per shot. So even if you kind of math it out almost, I mean, should we get roughly the same speed as our Engineer here? We're not even doing that great of a job, to be completely honest with you guys. Mathematically speaking, you know, we're thinking we're basically doubling our popping power because we can keep 3 Engineers on the screen at the same time. They each pop 1 balloon per shot. You know, I just think of it as almost like a second Engineer, basically. That's roughly what we're doing. The only thing is you get a little bit more control over hitting a balloon. You can pop a pink down to a yellow down to a green, and a green down to a blue a little bit more efficiently, I guess. Rather than a single nail going through 3 balloons and might miss and might not get the max popping power out of it. So I think that's where there's a slight difference in here, and that's why these guys actually do make a difference. Now, this is really important to understand here, alright? Speed. The tower's speed is going to play off of every single upgrade in the near future here. Faster Engineering, Sprockets, and all the way up into the 5th tier upgrade over here. We need to understand how does speed affect these sentries. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to build first I'm going to build a random jungle drums out of range of my Engineer. What you're going to notice is that each sentry can have jungle drums activated or experience jungle drums power by being in range of village. But what's interesting is if you do end up popping down a jungle drums over here, let's speed this up really quick. Even if, let's see if we can get it, so, there we go, perfect. It's out of range of our Jungle Drums village, but because we're in range of the Engineer, it is going to give that Jungle Drums ability to that Sentry Gun as well. It's kind of weird how this all works together, but it just does matter. Just trust me on that, alright? Another thing that you're going to keep in mind is that speed does definitely matter, so if you randomly, alright, I know this doesn't really matter, it's not going to actually happen, but you should keep this in mind. If you got other speed upgrades, and this will matter for the 5th tier. Random other speed upgrades for your Engineer. Instead of just popping down maybe 3 Engineers, or 3 Sentries or something like that, maybe 4 Sentries, we can pop down much, much more than that. So we go like this. The speed of our Engineer is not just the speed of his attack, but also the speed of his Sentry Gun production. So we can get many, many, many Engineers on the screen at the same time if we use our speed properly. I kind of wish that there was more ways to speed this guy up, but there really isn't that many. So that's something to definitely keep in mind here, that like Jungle Drums probably will be important for you, but if you want to speed them up with other overclocks and stuff like that, it probably will help you out a little bit. So finally moving on to, so basically when you have this guy, he's got roughly 3 at the same time. When you get the faster engineering, it's going to be roughly 4 at the same time, without anything extra going on here. We, basically almost get 5 on the screen if we do it right, but like it's kind of tough, man. You want to have 5 on the screen, but it's just it doesn't last very long at all. You know, it's like, oh, 5 gone. so while it does help a little bit, it's you know, again, it's just, is it worth the money? I don't know. I don't know if the faster engineer is really worth the money at this point. Moving on, though, we're going to talk about Sprockets here. So we're going to get rid of this guy for now. Sprockets is going to be a way to increase our Sentry Gun and Engineer attack speed. Alright, so what kind of speed are we looking at here? I think that's kind of important for us to understand what kind of random speed we're talking about. So, like I was saying earlier, with the speed, though, affecting every single Sentry Gun that you throw out is going to be important here. So, we can actually do a quick test here. We can do a quick Jungle Drums up in here, and we're going to send out just infinite, let's send out like 500 of these Invisibloons right here. And we're going to watch the next Sentry Gun that he pops out. Alright, this guy is not in range, so we're going to check out his pop count over here. It should go up to exactly 30 before it disappears. This guy is in range of the Jungle Drums, so we're going to pay attention to him next, alright? So we're going to get up to 30 pops here, and then we're going to go, boop, out of existence. This guy, in range of the Jungle Drums, is going to go up to a whopping 35 before it disappears. Boop, boop. So we get that extra attack speed, basically, from our Jungle Drums here. That's important to keep in mind, that it's affecting everything involved here as well. When we get Sprockets, increases Sentry Gun and Engineer attack speed over here. So now we're getting kind of double bonuses, I guess you could say. So let's do this one more time. Let's get rid of these balloons, set out one more round. We're going to make sure we actually get the max out here, so we only want to do it on new Sentry Guns. Now, this guy, alright, watch him really quick. He's going to go up to a whopping 50. Bam! And then we're going to watch this guy. He's going to go up to higher than 50 because now he's in range of the Jungle Drums. Now, of course, most of the time what we're going to do is we're probably going to have the Jungle Drums in range of our Sentry Gun, our Engineer here. So he'll probably get more pops from that. But we get all the way up to a whopping 58 pops before they disappear. So you can see how this Jungle Drums is really going to matter for us in getting it in range of this Engineer to give all those buffs for everything that we could possibly have here. Especially if we're going for multiple Engineers as well. Moving on, though, we've got the Sentry Expert. Oh my god, this is the goofiest thing ever. All right, this is where it gets wild, straight up wild. So I've got a lot of numbers here that I don't really want to look at. I just want to tell them to you guys. All right, so we're gonna set out 999 of these guys. What you're gonna note is that normally the Sentry Expert tries to put out certain sentries based on what they think you need. Against these random balloons, which is nice, is it just throws out one of each type, basically, which is kind of cool. Now, I ended up mathing out how many pops each one of these guys gets at its max level, or what it could possibly get at its max level if everything's basically going its way. All right. There's obviously 4 of them. There's a laser, or an energy sentry. There's the boom sentry, the bomb sentry, the cold sentry, and then also the crushing sentry, which shoots out like a dart monkey catapult blast. So very interesting. What you note is that the cold sentry is the least popping power tower, but that's because he slows them down. He gets roughly 275 or so, and he pops 15 per shot. The energy sentry is going to shoot 8 per shot. You can see that math out right there, and it goes up to about 400 or so. You know, it kind of depends a little bit here and there based on if you have the jungle drums and all that stuff, but roughly 400 or so. Again, if you got jungle drums, it's going to matter a lot. The bomb sentry is going to go all the way up to over 650, sometimes even higher than that. In this case, holy crap, we go up to over 900. Can we break a frickin' 1,000, dude? Woo! There it is, baby. It's tough because each shot is supposed to give you 32. 32 per shot, but sometimes it seems to like mess up and give you more than that. So I'm not sure if the pop count's messed up, or if we get, we really do end up getting these guys so clustered together that the bomb sentry actually kind of maxes out from not having the balloons close enough. Maybe he can actually get more than that. Look at that. Woo! We actually can max out higher than that. 60 balloons per shot, man. Woo! That's pretty freaking sexy right there. So we can go over 1,000 with our boom sentry if we do it literally perfect. I thought I was maxing out at like 650. No, we're maxing out at over 1,000 here. And then last but not least, the crushing sentry. It's this guy right here. It's about 600 or so. I actually got 550 before, but 600 or so. Interesting. And you max out at, I think, 22 per shot with this guy. It's kind of goofy to actually look at all of that. But realistically, what does all of this mean? It doesn't really matter. You don't really get to pick all that much between them. It automatically happens. It'd be kind of interesting if you got to pick. Say, I want 4 boom sentries or 4 ice sentries or something like that. That would be cool. That's not the way it goes down. It just happens automatically. I think the worst thing about this upgrade is that it literally only lasts for 1 upgrade. I think it would be cool if you got these guys, but they all got more powerful. But instead, Ninja Kiwi went with the Sentry Paragon, which is just a super powerful, highly unstable sentry. It's kind of goofy how it all works, but that's fine, I guess. Basically, it's a purple sentry that shoots out sort of a blast over here. Don't forget that you do want to have this extra chunk of drums and everything. It's going to increase your popping power. But without it, we're going to get... we're going to max out our stuff over here. We're going to get roughly 2750 out of each one of these sentry guns, all right? So you're going to watch this guy right here. He is a pretty drastic popping power guy, but we're spending so much money on him. You know, like, honestly, not that good. So almost 2,800, basically. 2,750 is what I got, but, yeah, roughly 2,800 before we explode. But then, when we explode, we get another 5,000 or so pops. So it's weird that you can almost get 2 times the amount of pops from exploding that you do from existing. Isn't that ridiculous over here? I like to think so. So Sentry Paragon, though, this is where the other upgrades made matter in quite a bit. Getting jungle drums on these guys, getting that that overclock happening might matter quite a bit. And if you want to, I mean, going all the way up to some sort of call to arms or something like that, really going to increase our overall attack speed. But honestly, after spending this much money on this one guy, I would almost say stay away from him. I'm not sure that he's all that efficient. Sure, we're going to increase our attack power quite a bit, but it's not going to be anything unbelievably insane. And another thing about him is I was always thinking, oh, you know, it'd be awesome if I could just alchemize this guy. Get a Stronger Name or a Perma-Brew on this guy. And then somehow this was going to really, really help me out. Well, I can Perma-Brew this guy, but it's not going to do anything for these sentry guns here. It doesn't get alchemized as well. I think if we could get the alchemy happening on these other guys here, it would actually matter, but because it doesn't, it just doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't do enough. And this Perma-Brew on this guy doesn't do anything. It really doesn't. It's like, it's almost garbage, to be completely honest with you guys. So out of all the engineers, you guys noticed that I said stay away from the top path in general. It's not that good. Alright, he's okay. He pops some balloons. There's nothing wrong with him. But if we're going for actual killing power, nah, stay away from this guy. He's not that good. All right, now let's talk about the other engineer upgrades. So this one's going to be sort of interesting, all right, because a lot of these upgrades suck balls. All right, larger surface area, garbage. What are they doing, man? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. All I can tell you is that I hate the larger surface area. I don't know what it is about it, but, you know, some people might think that anytime you increase the range, it's a good thing. But I like to think of my engineer as being more of a compact tower, where if I had to put him anywhere else on a reasonable map, if I put my sentry guns in a stupid spot, it's not going to do anything. So if I get a larger surface area with sentry guns and I throw one like over in the corner here, where we can't hit things good, like we could actually lose our popping power. So we're spending a lot of money for no real popping power gain. I think that's the real problem here. In most situations, no real popping power gain for 550 bucks. What? Doesn't make any sense. Deconstruction. Another garbage upgrade. It just doesn't make any sense here, guys. So if we send out a Moab class balloon, now don't forget we can shoot through 3 Moabs if we want to. So we're going to do 3 pops, max to a Moab class balloon. When we get the deconstruction, we're only doubling it. So we're going to go to 6 balloons max. This doesn't do anything against Moab class balloons. Now, if it affected the sentry guns, I would say, alright, good and dandy. But it doesn't. The sentries are unaffected by the Moab popping power ability of the deconstruction right here. So another just garbage upgrade. That's why the middle path ends up being sort of garbage for so long. I think they were like, Overclock's so good, we have to make this guy garbage in some way. So if you're ever thinking, should I get deconstruction? The answer is freaking no. Alright? On purpose, no. Don't get it ever. It's bad. It's not worth it. It's only $200. So like, alright, I'll get it. It's not supposed to be unbelievable. But no, you just don't want to use this guy at all. Get something else for your Moab popping power. Don't rely on the deconstruction. Like, if I was going to go up against round 40 and I was like, should I get 3 of these guys with the deconstruction or something else? Every single time, I pick something frickin' else. Cleansing foam. All right, so here we go. We're finally getting down to the interesting towers over here. Now, this is a reasonable one. All right, it's interesting because you can use it in so many weird ways. Like, it's one of the only towers that, like, decamoizes something, like just changes the properties of a balloon itself. Instead of giving the tower the ability to pop that, we're literally changing it, which isn't used all that often, but I think we probably should maybe use it all that often. So what you can do is you can get rid of camo balloons or regen balloons, or also a lead balloon, so you can pop lead balloons with this cleansing foam here. So it actually can pop things as well instead of decamoizing or changing it in some way. I think that's really, really cool. And because you're also getting rid of the regen layer, it's like it's never gonna come back, you know? It's just done. Now, regen camo LEDs are not a common thing in Bloons CD6, but if you wanted to, you could do all of this. How many balloons does it affect? Each cleansing foam can affect 13 balloons, and it can affect all the properties at the same time. So if you had a, for example, regen camo LED like we do right here, it will still affect then 13 balloons. One problem with cleansing foam is that if you do end up getting other balloons kind of coming out in its stead, it will absorb or suck up the cleansing foam, just make it disappear. So you really have to like almost put it in a spot where you're going to pop all the normal balloons already, or like put it at the beginning and like hope that the balloons just don't come out in big quantities. It's like very difficult to use it properly, I guess. Maybe that's a good design for a tower, that it's tough to use but still somewhat effective. But it is difficult to use. I want you guys to keep that in mind while using this cleansing foam tower right here. So, but again, it does decamoize 13 balloons here, so hopefully we can get to see this guy. We can see, crap, let's send out 15 reds here so we can hopefully get this down. 15 camo reds, hopefully it'll see it. Got 2 that are left camoed. That's perfect. We sent out 15, 2 are left camoed, so you can see that it's proved that it is 13 balloons, not 14 or 15 or 12 or 11 or whatever. So, I guess that's it for cleansing foam, and nothing too crazy going on with that. One thing that I wish it did was I wish that it got rid of reinforced aspect of the balloons as well. Which in this example it looks like it does, but it really doesn't because we popped the lead layer. But realistically, against ceramics and stuff like that, it doesn't. So definitely keep that in mind while you're playing your games here. It seems like it should, but it just doesn't. All right, Overclock. Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting, and I'm actually going to build both these guys at the same time because I kind of have to compare them quite a bit. We've got Overclock and Ultra Boost. So both these guys have the previous upgrades from before, the cleansing foam and all that stuff, so you might actually use them in a spot that's just like, hey, it's not going to do that much, but if it does do something, awesome. I kind of like that. You know, like, that's how you should think about putting these guys down. Don't take up any space that you really, really need popping power towers to be in, but at least they're just there, all right? They're just doing something, all right, while we're getting our Overclock ability. So, I have been told, all right, I've been told, based from Ninja Kiwi, that what it used to be is that if I built a Dart Monkey, all right, and I sent out these 999 white balloons here, and then I had a second Dart Monkey that was overclocked. Basically, what would end up happening is I would have one Dart Monkey with, 100 pops at the end, and the other Dart Monkey would have 200 pops at the end. That's what I was told, all right? But after a lot of math and a lot of experiments, that's not what's happening at all. Now, okay, let me take a step back real quick. It used to be 2 times. Then they changed it to be, quote-unquote, 1.8 times speed. And I've noticed that I don't think that's right either. I think it's actually less than that. I think you're only getting, 1.65 times speed, or roughly 65% extra speed here. And then going all the way up to 10 times overclock and also overcharged, or 10 times ultra boosted and overclocked, you get to be about 2.7 times speed. All right, so we're going to do an experiment for you guys. We're going to show this off in a fun and interesting way with Super Monkeys. And I think this is the best example because it's a fast shooter that we can easily sort of do an experiment with, all right? So we got 4 Super Monkeys across the board here. They're all going to be base Super Monkeys. And what we're going to do is we're going to overclock, we're going to overcharge 2 of these guys to 10 times. So here we go, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And you're going to see the numbers math out. Now, this is really interesting to me because, again, I've been told different numbers from Ninja Kiwi, and I think my test is fairly accurate here. I don't know how it wouldn't be. I think that was 10 times right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to have, once this guy's, well, I'm just going to build another one. What we're going to do is we're going to end up watching these guys and have, like, sort of a control group and then sort of a speed group. So this guy is going to be a base Super Monkey, nothing added at all. This guy is going to be an overclocked Super Monkey. This guy is going to be a... Ooh, we need one more of these guys. So it's going to be a 10 times ultra boosted Super Monkey, also being overclocked. And then we're going to have a... you know what, let's do this guy being the 10 times monkey that's going to be also overclocked. And this guy's just going to be 10 times boosted. And we should have a gradient going up, right? So watch what happens. All right, we're going to send out 999 of these guys. Let's get rid of this. Let's get ready to overclock here. We're going to go overclock on this guy, and we're going to non-stop keep these guys overclocked. So as this wears off, we're going to overclock these guys even further. Now, this is going to be really interesting because these are going to affect the numbers here, but it's also going to help us understand the overclock even better for monetary purposes, because watch how long the overclock lasts here. All right, I don't even have to click reset my ability here. I can already reset this ability and reset this ability so they're non-stop overclocked without anything really getting affected here. All right, now eventually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of the Bloons. And I might have minor discrepancies in popping power here, but I don't think it's going to actually affect us here. So here we go, ba-boom, 1, boom, 2. And we're going to get rid of these Bloons in just a second here. Let's clear these guys up. All right. So we should see a very solid gradient. 1875. This guy was overclocked at 3088. This guy, again, very similar. An overclocked Super Monkey, very similar to a 10 times ultra boosted Super Monkey. I'm going to call it ultra boosted, by the way. or overcharged. I don't know which one I should do, but I usually say overcharged. So I'm sorry if I confuse you guys with that. Then this guy was overcharged and overclocked. All right. So we had 18, 3,000, 3,000, 5,000. And when you math all of that out, it's roughly exactly the numbers I got before. A 65% speed bonus for overclocking. 1875 to 3088. I actually use a calculator, just in case you're curious. I think we do 3088 divided by 1875. And you get 1.65 times speed here. Perfect, man. Exactly what you want to freaking see. Like, deliciousness in a can, if I do say so myself. Those numbers don't lie. All right? Isn't that awesome? And then the same thing here with this guy. You can do it kind of based on this guy. So we could do 5075, 5075 divided by 1875, and we get a ridiculous 2.7 times speed. Exactly what I freaking tested before. It's awesome, isn't it? So it's weird because I used to think that we're gonna, if we do all of this 10 times overclocked and overcharged, we would get a 4 times speed boosted tower. Then they changed it, so I thought we were only getting 3.6 times. But I guess it's not the case. It's not 3.6 times. It's only 2.7 times speed. I think that's important to note. Also, the only 65% increase here is not even close to double, so we really have to think about how we're using our overclock engineer now when incorporating it in popping power. Because now overclocks don't last the same amount for all different monkeys. What are you talking about, Chris? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys a couple different towers. We're going to do, let's get rid of this guy. I'm going to build like 5 overclock engineers. All right. And then we're going to build a freaking temple. Expensive tower. We can go for a true sun god. It doesn't really matter. We're going to build one of those guys. We're going to go for an archmage. Archmage. That's over 40,000. So this is infinite money, whatever we want to do. Over 40,000. Then we want something that's over 20,000. So we're going to build something like this. Try to get roughly about 20,000. That's kind of our goal here. I'm actually going to move this guy out of the way. I'll lock him in place up there. I just want to look at the base tower here. Then we're going to build something a little bit cheaper. That's like around 10,000. So we're going to go for a, one of these guys, just over 10,000. Then we're going to go for just a base monkey here. This is our 5 monkeys. We're thinking infinite money, over 40K, over 20K, over 10K, and then cheapest crap. All right? I could do the same thing here with a dart monkey or something like that if I really wanted to. Now we're actually going to go from this way up, so we can prove for sure that I'm not accidentally just waiting too much time in between all these. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did that really freaking fast, by the way. They should be very, very close together here. Now we're going to speed this up. We're going to sort of watch the overclock ability wear off. So at half here, let's slow this down. Look at these yellow lines really quick. Look at the archmage and this guy at the same time. They should wear off roughly the exact same time. Then we're going to look at these guys right here. This is the over 20K. So this guy's going to wear off next. But bam, where's that Apache Dart ship wear off? There we go. He's going to wear off next. And then these two are actually to last longer than that. What? More than an overclocked before it needs to come back again. Which is pretty awesome if I do say so myself. So it's actually better to overclock multiple random $18,000 towers or so than it is to overclock a $20,000 tower. So if you really math things out like to the perfection, man, you can really get some weird results with your overclocked stuff. For example, playing on medium, maybe you want to go for a Super Maelstrom being overclocked nonstop instead of an Apache Dart ship being overclocked because it's going to last longer. Right? Let's test this out. Hopefully it works out in my favor here. If not, I'm just going to give up. All right, I'm just going to throw down the towel on this one because I just have to assume that I screwed something up somewhere, right? But it may be worth it to think about getting more towers that are $38,000 or so, not 40K, or 18,000 or so instead of the 20K. Though maybe 15K and 30K. You guys can correct me on that in the comments below. I've been trying to figure this out for so long, and I think I did it wrong again. So I give up. At least you know that there are different times on those, and you might want to start thinking about how you want to math out your towers, especially on hardened chimps. Because it's just such a nuanced, weird thing to think about. Alright, I think that's all we need to talk about for this overclocked engineer. Now we need to talk about the bottom path. This is actually really fun, because this is actually a fun, pretty good engineer. Oversized nails. Now we pop exactly 8 balloons per shot, at least it tells us. And frozen balloons. That's kind of nice. Then we get the pin upgrade for a super duper cheap $220. Like, what the heck? This is a really, really good upgrade for $220. Why are we paying $550 for larger surface area, only $220 for pin? Makes no sense. I don't understand it, but alright. We're going with it, guys. It's kind of fun. It shoots a pretty good amount of popping power here. It's cool to use. Even better if you want to. You can go up to, some sort of sentry gun upgrade or something like that to get a little extra popping power to this guy. But he's fun. He's cool. He slows down the balloons, allows your other towers to pop them even faster. He's kind of like an ice tower that doesn't freeze the balloons, and you can use him with any other tower in the game. So that's kind of exciting, right? A weird ice tower combo, almost. And then you can double his popping power with double gun for only freaking $500. Holy crap, dude. If I'm not using these guys more often in my games, you guys need to yell at me right now. Because this guy is delish. Alright, straight up delish. You can also get the sentry guns and the fast engineering if you want to. But not a necessity whatsoever. Honestly, I think just a 003 engineer is very solid as a tower. He shoots fast, stalls the balloons, does a lot of popping power. Like, what else do you want out of this guy? For a cheap price. I think that's the main thing. For a cheap price out of it, too. In addition, you can easily get an Alchemist on this guy. Alchemist on these guys will actually be beneficial, unlike the Sentry Gun Engineers. So if you pop a stronger stim on this guy with a double gun Engineer over here, you're going to see the pretty drastic increase in pop power. So let's do this. Let's clear out these balloons. And we just do a quick comparison here. Let's do 999, just regular old balloons here, guys. Regular old balloons. These two guys will be, like, mostly overclocked the entire time. This guy won't be. I'm just going to kind of look at the difference in pop count. It's not an exact number, because I'm building 2 of them, and they're not always overclocked, but it's pretty freaking close here, alright? In fact, we could probably increase it by getting faster growing. Wonderful. Not looking for exact numbers, just a base idea here. Alright, I think we're good. So, we got 4,800, 4,600, and 1,500. We tripled our popping power with an Alchemist over here. Definitely worth it to try to throw one of these guys down on these guys. They're fun to use, they're cool, they're interesting. But honestly, even just spamming like 5 of these guys isn't that expensive, and they're super powerful. Highly recommend these guys. Alright, moving on, the Bloon Trap. Alright, so we're going to try and explain the Bloon Trap in as easy way as we possibly can. So, what you got to understand about this game is that money is going to change based on what round you're actually on. For example, if we had, we built a dart monkey here, and we had $0. On round 1, a single red balloon is going to be worth, oh crap, a single frickin' red balloon here is going to be worth $1, right? On round 51, though, it's going to start changing. It's not going to be worth as much money, alright? Send out 3 red balloons. I'm going to get up to $2. What the heck? 51? Changed all already, man? 61 is going to be the same thing. It's going to change even further. So now we get more red balloons coming out, and we're still going to make less and less money on top of that. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me right now, but then again, I think on Route 81, it changes again to be even less. And so you make less and less and less and less money per red balloon. But what you want to understand is that the Engineer Trap is also going to make you less money over time, but it's still going to make you double whatever you were supposed to make. So, for example, we make $1 per round on, or per balloon popped on round 1, right? So, with the Engineer, though, and the Bloon Trap, if I sent out 24 lead balloons here, we're going to suck up all those guys, and we're going to get $1,100. Now, the red balloon equivalent to that is 550. If we send up 550 red balloons, this trap would be gone. All right? Poof. Gone out of existence. We'd make double the money. That's $1. We go to around 51. It's going to change to half that. So now we send out 24 lead balloons, and we're going to get 550 bucks. So still double what we normally would make. It's kind of interesting concept, right? So no matter what, you're making extra money out of this guy. It's nothing insane, but double the money is not bad. I gotta say it, man. Double the money is never bad. I always like extra money, and this is the extra money cash flow boy right here. All right. As far as camera detection and all that stuff, it gets kind of interesting. We send out lead balloons at the moment. We send out camo lead balloons. We can actually pop them if we've got the village here, but if we sell the village for our next batch, they don't pop them. So it's really got to be in range when you build it, not when it exists. So look at this. It's actually going to walk right through, even though I have a village in range. This is what screwed me up. I thought it had no DDT popping power when I got the extra large trap here to pop DDTs. I thought that they couldn't pop DDTs, but he can if the village is there ahead of time, right? So we'll do it one more time. It's kind of weird how it all works. But now that trap is down, if I give him camera detection, DDTs cannot get sucked up. Intriguing, right? Oh, heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. All right. The engineer is the tough tower, isn't he? But we're almost done here, guys. We're almost done. So balloon trap makes you double money. You can suck up lots and lots of balloons. It's pretty awesome, to be honest. I highly recommend you get him in some games, at least one of them. Just kind of throw him near the entrance. Maybe if you've got some sort of good Moab popping power, you can throw it down like right behind that. But realistically, near the entrance is probably best because you got a lot of ceramics coming out between rounds like 40 to 63. That just you could slurp a lot of those guys up, make some extra cash flow, and use it to your advantage, basically. Extra large trap. So I didn't want to talk too much about how many balloons actually go in here, but it's roughly 10,000 balloons go in here. I think it was like 450 lead balloons that this guy sucked up, or somewhere right around there. And then when I mathed it out, 450 times 23 is about 10,000. So you're going to see, like, we're not going to suck up quite 450 lead balloons. Just about. And the same thing with the money, guys. So there, yeah, almost 450 lead balloons, but not quite. Exactly what we expect, 10,000 balloons. And then you can do kind of the similar thing if you try and math out how many balloons are inside of a Moab and all that stuff, but I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. So what I got, though, is we can suck up 17 Moabs. Whoop, just like that. We can suck up 4 BFBs. Sorry, I thought 8 was too many. 4 BFBs here. Whoop, gone. A singles, oh my god. Oops, did I send out 4? I did. Well, we sent 1s, oh my god. But interestingly enough, you can also suck up a reinforced, oh my god. So reinforced balloons do end up mattering for the amount of like suckage you get out of your towers here. For example, we don't suck up 17 reinforced Moabs anymore. I think it's like 14. So it's like weird how you have to math that out, but it's like it's a little less. Just keep that in mind while you're playing. The reinforced aspect does go into this. It just doesn't make it so you can't suck up a reinforced oh my god, even though oh my god is the max that we can normally do here. And then for DDTs as well, it gets kind of in... Oh, crap. Of course. Gotta remember that camo detection, boys. Gotta remember that camo detection. So it looks like we can do 9 reinforced DDTs. And non-reinforced DDTs, we can do, I think, 13 here. I think. It's kind of weird how it all maths out. I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but all right. I'm always down. I'm always down to look at these weird numbers. Like, why does it add up? I mean, DDT is very similar to a Moab class balloon, so it's just goofy to think about it as being different. But I guess it is. All right. Good to know. I think DDTs might have a little bit more health now. I think they upped the health from like 200 to like 350 or something like that at some point, just to make DDTs more difficult because they wanted to be jerks to us. But that's roughly everything, guys. If you've stuck in here for the entire 40 minutes, give yourself a round of applause, all right? That's fantastic of you. The Engineer is a complicated tower, but hopefully I've simplified it for you a little bit better. Understand, I guess the key points is that, believe it or not, the top path Engineer is not that good. If you're going to go for an Engineer, the overclock is going to matter on how much money that tower costs. And you might want to experiment a little bit for yourself on like what kind of towers you can get on what difficulty to actually be lasting the longest or getting the most damage out of them, you know? Cheaper towers might actually be better to overclock in some situations rather than overclocking your Archmage or something like that, which costs just over 40k. It's going to last a little less long. And then as far as bottom path goes, Blue Trap is pretty awesome. Extra large trap is pretty awesome if you want to make some extra cash flow. But as far as pop power goes, it's not amazing. It's okay. It's not amazing. You know, don't think of it as an amazing tower. Think of it as a good money maker. It's like an in-between farm type tower. You know, it makes you some money, but it also costs a lot to get from the get-go. But it's also popping some balloons. So don't rely on him, and definitely don't use him in the back. I think some people, I've seen people use random balloon traps in the back here as like saviors. Like, don't do that. Use him as a money maker in the very, very front, like this. All right, that's where you want to use this. Oops, that's where you want to use this guy. For some reason, I almost always think that the Engineer here is I've never seen that Engineer before. That's the goofiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This orange little mofo right here. What the heck is he doing, dude? A larger radius blue trap. But as far as middle path goes, though, all these upgrades are garbage. Garbage. Almost garbage. And that's about it, boys. So if you've stuck around this entire time, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Press that like button for me. Subscribe if you have not. And, of course, have a super duper delicious day.